Like leathery?
Leathery?
I wouldn't describe it as leathery.
Don't want to talk about Ood's leathery dick.
Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, be aware that the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
The atoms in your left hand probably came from a different star than your right hand.
It is our basic human right to be fuck-up.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Occultae Veritatis.
So, hello, and welcome to Occultae Veritatis. I'm Sage Murray, and joining us in the studio is my super rad cousin, Chamsky.
/ Daniel Radcliffe.
Hello. And he looks like
/
Daniel.
Elijah Wood.
/ Jensen Ackles. And also accompanying me are...
yours truly, Leon Filger.
And...
Ood Gallifrey.
Slightly less exciting than Jensen Ackles, Daniel Radcliffe, Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me here.
No problem. All right, so let's start with what's your poison?
What's your poison?
So, what's your poison?
All right, so we have another round of fridge beer.
Fridge beer.
It's Bud Light, and it's fine.
No, it's not.
So,
I appreciate the free beer, but whose idea was this? Was it you or Mr. Sage Murray?
He went and bought it. He's willing to buy some beer. I don't really care. I'll drink whatever. You know me.
You're
all of you
alcoholic.
It was pretty much just what was in the fridge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's literally what was in the fridge. I ran downstairs and grabbed fridge beer, and that's usually what I bring.
It is always what you bring.
I don't bring exciting things like you guys. I don't put any thought into it.
Black Death.
I just bring fridge beer.
When we get enough Patreon subscribers to become profitable, the first thing on the list is fancy booze or horrible booze.
And remember from the last episode, when we get 100 patrons, I'm getting sprayed in the face with pepper spray live on the show.
I'll do something. I'll get tased or I'll eat a ghost pepper. I'll do something.
You're not eating ghost pepper. You'll die.
Yeah?
Yes.
I've seen people do it on YouTube.
You're not doing it. I won't let you.
Like, I'm super white, so I think like sriracha's spicy.
You're going to die.
Sriracha's spicy. Ooh,
Wait, make sure we have a defibrillator. Like, let's do it in front of RUHER.
Okay. I'm up for that.
Okay.
On location.
Yeah. In fact, pepper spray me in front of the hospital, too. We'll be right the fuck there. Mrs. Leon Filger is seriously concerned about me doing this.
So
I'll, shave my head or something.
But no, you won't.
I would. My hair's already really short.
Yeah, but it looks fine the way it is.
I know.
Daniel wants to shave her head as well, so you'll be in fine company. She's waiting until spring, though, because it can get quite chilly out there.
If we get 100... What did we say?
Patreons.
100
patrons.
Yeah. I'll shave my head with Daniel. Whatever.
All right. Can I do it? Can I operate the clippers?
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm in.
Okay.
Sweet.
Who's operating the pepper spray?
Me. I want to pepper spray you. No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't. I don't know.
No, I'm not letting you do it. You're doing it. Because I got to hold my eyeballs open and you got to spray 3 seconds in each.
Horrible.
It's going to suck.
3 seconds in each.
I have a friend who's a police
3
officer.
seconds total, just sweeping back and forth, and then a little bit in my nose.
Yeah.
So,
it's going to suck so hard.
Yeah,
it's a tribute to all protests all over the world.
Yeah. They say that your eyes are going to be closed for about an hour.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the photos. Because my eyes are going to be swollen shut.
No one will recognize you.
Yeah, I'll take that 5-second ride on the taser. I got a friend that's a police officer. And I'm pretty sure that he's not going to let anybody else is going to let it touch the taser besides him.
I would get tased. Yeah. I had an ECG a couple weeks ago. My heart is strong. I can handle it.
My heart is strong like bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll notice that we are trying to find squirrels to hunt and random things to say because this beer is just so nondescript.
Yeah, this beer is whatever. Sorry, I completely forgot that we were talking about
this beer is like 400 grit sandpaper. There's just not enough to do anything useful other than finishing work, and who the fuck really does that because you're going to paint it anyway?
Is Bud Light the light version of Budweiser?
Yes.
Okay. And Budweiser is like hardly a beer to begin with.
Okay, this is the least awesome of my fridge beers.
Do you know that people actually, there are people who like this? Yeah. Were you aware?
There's a lot of people that drink this. It's like club soda, but yellow.
Yeah.
It is. It's not like, oh man.
Like you
it
said
doesn't
before.
even taste like anything.
Like I know it's a standard joke like American beers taste like water, but like this really does. This is like I rinsed out a glass that had beer in it. And
Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Sage, this is shit.
Sorry. Yell at Mr. Sage Murray.
What's a...
See, it barely tastes like a beer, so my partner Daniel
I mildly fear Mr. Sage Murray.
Why?
Because his beard is so pirate-esque.
Yeah.
He does have a really powerful beard.
It's a powerful beard.
I don't know. This beer is so inoffensive. I'd feel okay giving it to my ferrets to drink because I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't get drunk off this.
I wouldn't quite give it to my 3-year-old, but it's pretty
I just want to point out that they did this. I saw this website where they did this test of all the non-alcoholic beers. Like they chose 7 of them, and then just for kicks, they snuck in a Bud Light, and actually half of the judges thought that this was a shitty non-alcoholic beer.
Oh my god! Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you're feeling thirsty and there's no water around, pick up a Bud Light.
Pick up a Bud Light. Because
okay, so let's do the ratings. I'm going to rate it. I'm not rating it because it's not beer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll rate it. It probably won't quite get the job done. Thank you for your Sambuca, Leon.
You're welcome. There's still half a bottle.
Which I will probably pound a bit of.
Good.
Rain on my head.
It was always emphasized that you eat the purest quality food and raw food if possible.
Best biological protein for man is the sunflower seed. And this is what forms the basis of our protein, along with raw cheese.
You must have an overview or an overthought as to why more people are not vegetarians. Is it just lack of information, lack of knowledge on the subject? What holds people back, do you think?
I think most are victimized by their conditioned tastes. We don't find it necessary to kill another sentient thing for our food. God sets such a bountiful table that there's no need for it. It takes 21 pounds of grain, for example, to make 1 pound of beef.
Today on Occultae Veritatis, I'm tackling the Source family cult. And it basically all starts with one man whose name is Father Yod. Y-O-D.
Yod.
Yeah, Yod. So James Edward Baker was born, who's Father Yod, was born on July 4th, 1922 in Cincinnati, Ohio.
WKRP.
Oh. Man.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh,
right?
I was like, I don't get that.
And in the opening, they threw the televisions out of the apartment building. It was the coolest thing.
Okay.
You don't remember that?
No. Okay, it sounds familiar, but I am also kind of drunk. I've been drinking since like 1 p.m.
You're also younger than the... Ood, how old are you?
Ood's younger than me.
I'm 28.
Young.
I'm almost 31.
I'm the greenhorn. I'm the baby of this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Little baby Ood.
Yeah, just springing with youth.
Do you even remember 9/11?
Yeah.
I was in grade 9.
I was in grade 5. No. I was in grade...
we were.
I was in grade 7, and my homeroom teacher switched the TV on, and we watched it all morning. It was that whole classic story.
That's the standard of youth, though. Like, do you remember 9/11? If you don't, you're young.
Yeah.
These guys do.
My dad was driving me to school that day.
Yeah.
We were in the car when I heard it. It's crazy.
And you're a year older than me.
Yeah, and we will be covering that someday, but holy Lord, I need to get better at researching before I tackle that one.
That's tricky.
We need to ease ourselves into that one.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyway, back to my thing. So Baker earned the Silver Star as a United States Marine in World War II and became an expert in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, good.
Then he moved to California to become a Hollywood stuntman and was influenced by the Nature Boys, a Los Angeles-based group of beatniks who lived a natural lifestyle, maintained very vegetarian diets, and lived, in quotation marks, according to nature's laws.
And they probably fucked in the woods.
Probably. Yeah. They probably fucked in the woods.
Yeah, and shit in holes.
And shit
according to nature's laws.
Yeah, yeah.
Nudists as well, probably.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. This was like the 60s.
Now, right? did they wipe with leaves or with toilet paper?
Their hands. Their hands.
Oh, boy.
Their hands?
That is natural.
And then they wash their hands with tree sap.
Oh, good.
That sounds sticky.
That
and
sounds
also
like
smelly.
it wouldn't work at all.
No, it probably wouldn't.
That sounds very inefficient.
That sounds like a nightmare.
I think the key is like if you sit down on a termite mound, the termites will eat the shit out of your ass, and it's kind of like a nature bidet.
Oh, fuck that. I want my apartment. I want my running water.
I don't think it works like that.
I have no idea. I've never done it.
All right, so Baker also studied philosophy, religion, and esoteric spiritual teachings. He even became a Vedantic monk for a time, not very long.
I mean, you wouldn't want to do that for a long time.
What's a Vedantic monk?
What is that?
I don't know.
Professor Google.
Professor Google, Vedantic monk. Oh, I spelled it wrong.
Let's take guesses. What do you think it is?
It's gonna be the monks that lift weights with their testicles.
Falun Gao.
Damn it, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, god damn it, maybe.
I tried it once.
Did it? How
to
did
lift
it go?
them with your
I lifted a stapler, a desk stapler with my testicles.
Oh, Jesus.
I used a zip tie around my balls.
Oh, yeah, no.
I lifted it successfully.
All right, so it says Vedanta is one of the 6 orthodox schools of Hindu philosophy.
They didn't teach me anything.
No, I learned nothing.
So Father Yod later became a follower of Yogi Bhajan, a Sikh spiritual leader and teacher of Kundalini Yoga. So that's like a different, like there's so many different branches of yoga, and he just became one of them.
Was Boo Boo there with Yogi?
No, Boo Boo was not there with Yogi. In 1963, Baker was convicted of murdering the husband of actress Jean Ingram.
I would too. He's a fucking dick.
The husband of Jean Ingram?
Fuck him.
I didn't actually look into him. With whom he was having an affair. It was alleged that Baker killed him with his bare hands in an act of self-defense. So I couldn't find really much of anything to substantiate this claim, so take it with many grains of salt. Apparently it's true.
Are we talking table salt or sea salt?
Like sea salt.
Or
like
that pink Himalayan salt?
Pink Himalayan salt. All right. So anyway.
I didn't work in the crematorium, though. I was more on the people side
Back
of
to
it.
my fucking episode.
Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear.
Yod.
Sorry, Yod.
In 1969, Baker founded the Source restaurant on Los Angeles Sunset Strip. The restaurant served organic vegetarian food with such celebrity regulars as John Lennon, Julie Christie, and Marlon Brando.
I knew 2 of those.
And Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, probably.
Who then ate her fucking placenta.
And shoved it back up her vagina.
Probably.
What?
Gwyneth Paltrow's a wackadoodle.
Why would
She's
you do
a nut
that?
job.
She's nuts.
Jesus. Fuck, I don't know.
No, I don't think it's Jesus. I think it's...
Your body
It's fucking
your
crazy.
body got that out.
She's
Your body
a
doesn't want it.
homeopathic individual. Like she doesn't believe in immunizations or anything like that.
No,
it's because hamsters eat their placenta, so she figures people should too. Because we haven't evolved fucking past that.
Is she the one that has like the $8,000 crystal dildo and like steams her pussy?
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Why is it so much vagina stuff?
Because I mean, like, I would steam my pussy if I had one.
Okay, no, you wouldn't. No, because your vagina is like a cat, and
no, I mean like for sexual
It's like
purposes.
a self-cleaning oven.
He had 2 other successful restaurants. He left and created his own philosophy in the late 1960s, and then he changed his name to Father Yod, and was also known as YaHoWha.
YaHoWha.
Yeah, YaHoWha.
Like
so
that.
he became the patriarch of a commune of young people who considered him their spiritual father. This group, that was known as the Source family, lived together in a Hollywood Hills mansion and was supported by the earnings of the Source restaurant, which grossed about $10,000 a day during peak popularity.
Jesus.
Some of the doctrines of the Source family were kept secret. However, they generally adopted a way of life that promoted natural health, organic vegetarian diets, communal living, and utopian ideals. So they were basically like a bunch of weird hippies.
So they kind of like off the grid people? And
yeah, like off the grid, hippie, dippy, weirdo people.
Okay.
So Father Yod had a core communal group of 150 people living in the Hollywood Hills. He gave his followers super weird names like Isis Aquarian, Explosion Aquarian, and Lion Aquarian.
And Gallifrey.
Was the first one Isis Aquarian?
Yes.
Oh, controversial.
Well, Isis, like the Egyptian goddess.
Oh, I know.
Right? So they all took the last name Aquarian to symbolize their family bond and to tether themselves to the age of Aquarius.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not even a good song.
It is a good song. Go fuck yourself.
I kind of like it. When that hit at the end of 40-Year-Old Virgin, like I was dancing. It was good. It was a good jam.
All right. So things started to get, in quotes, very far out.
Bum, bum, bum.
Particularly after Yod took on a new name, YaHoWha.
YaHoWha.
Yeah. And began thinking of himself in more godlike terms. He altered family rules, like making it fine for people to have more than one lover. In fact, he had a harem of 13 young women.
I couldn't do it.
As it goes.
It's the jealousy.
Yeah. Well, like, most of these cults, like, I did the Family International, the Children of God cult, and basically he started it just to, like, fuck people.
Everyone.
Fuck everyone. Like,
including his own children.
Yeah. And also get children to fuck each other and adults. And this is kind of like, Father Yod changed the rules so that he could have more than one woman because he was God, right? So why wouldn't they allow him to do that?
I'm sure he had some justification, like, allow me to bless you with my
I think the refractory period would prevent me from having that many sexual partners. Because, like, when I was 14, I could come, like, 20 minutes after I had just come. At 32, like, once a day is... I'm so fucking tired when I'm done.
It's just lack of sex drive. I don't think I could keep 13 partners happy.
It's not a lack of sex drive. I want to do it again. I just don't have it in me.
That's a lack of sex drive for me. I wouldn't want... I have other things to do. I have to do chores. I have to work 40 hours a week. I don't have time for 13. Come on now.
You don't have time to have sex with 13 people a day. So it's easy to see the appeal of the father figure that Baker/Yod had with these young seekers. He was like a huge man with a very long beard. He projected a Christ-like figure whose cosmic teachings included a fair amount of sex, drugs, and societal freedoms. More followers, especially those interviewed on the source...
Do you find your orgasms are stronger or weaker when you're high on marijuana?
Weaker!
Really?
Yeah.
Ood.
The same, but I find it's easier to get in the mood.
It's not easier. I just want to sleep.
Really?
Let me nap.
You're smoking the wrong weed then.
I think the sex itself is pretty much the same, but getting in the mood is easier.
No, the orgasm is way huger. And I last longer, like without, like I go all night, but I have to bite my tongue almost to the point of bleeding so I don't come too quick.
No, you gotta have
But when I'm high on marijuana, like the orgasm lasts forever. Like I just about shit myself a couple of times. I almost pooped the bed coming because I was so high.
I mean, if you're into that, that's fine.
No, I'm not. I work at a nursing home. Pooping beds are not a good thing.
I wonder if somebody developed a fetish for shit at a nursing home, because it seems like an apt place to do that.
I bet they did.
And end scene.
Okay.
Most followers, especially those interviewed on the Source Family documentary, which you should all watch, it was awesome, look back on their time with Father Yod with fondness. So they were mostly happy with their time with him, and they felt like it was worthwhile. Although one follower named Agnes revealed he left the group after he wasn't allowed to give medicine to his sick infant son because that was against family teachings, apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so they were like...
What kind of medicine are we talking about?
I don't know.
Healing?
I forget what it was.
Well, if it was like diabetic medicine or something like that, the kid would die. So
it was a cock in the ass.
It's probably some kind of... Maybe some kind of painkiller, or maybe some kind of something temporary.
Despite the claims that he had 14 different wives, he actually had only one legal wife. Robin Popper, to whom he was married in 1970. That was his only wife.
Was Robin like the name that he gave her?
No, that was her actual name. Robin Popper, yeah.
Okay.
They had one daughter together named Tau, T-A-U, who was born August 14th, 1974. And Robin...
Why do people replace Y's in traditional names with I's?
I think just to be different.
Why?
So when you search the name, it's like...
It's an I. Robin was with an I.
It's fucking stupid.
You're fucking stupid.
Fact.
So Robin said on the documentary that he was basically... Father Yod was just basically a dirty old man on a lust trip. So he was just a gross guy who was super stoked about having sex with a bunch of people.
And so they don't think he bought his own bullshit.
How old was he?
He was pretty old by the time he died.
Could he still get it up?
Yeah.
Sorry, how many followers did he have?
He had like a core group of 150.
It's not all that many.
No, this is more like a fun,
I have more friends on Facebook than that.
Weird hippy dippy kind of situation than anything that I'm.
Did he have sex with all of them?
Yeah, he had sex with lots of people.
All of them?
No, I don't think he had sex with all of them.
What about the dudes?
I don't know. I never found any information about the dudes. There was like no information about this. I watched this documentary when I was pregnant like 3 years ago, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want to do an episode about this," and there was no information. Music was an integral part of the Source family, and many members were musicians. Father Yod formed an improvisational psychedelic rock group called YaHoWha 13, which is actually pretty fucking rockin'.
I bet they're on YouTube.
They are.
Insert here?
Yeah. With himself as lead singer.
So this little cut I'm about to play here is I'm Going to Take You Home, from the album YaHoWha 13, with the performers Father Yod and some of his cult members.
In 1973, the band began making limited pressings of their jam sessions, eventually releasing 9 albums that were sold at the Source restaurant for $10 each.
Holy, more prolific than Eminem.
The original recordings have become valuable to collectors of underground music. Celebrities such as the dudes from Earth, Wind & Fire would buy... Yeah, like fucking cool. They would buy the Source records out of the back of the restaurant. Other family musicians formed various bands, including Spirit of 76, Savage Sons of YaHoWha, Yo Chip, and Breath. Their music is actually pretty fucking cool.
You know, I'm constantly surprised how Charlie Manson and like serial killers like get really into the music scene.
Yeah,
like Charlie was recording with the Beach Boys and shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. This is the time to be in a cult, man. Like,
oh, the 70s?
Oh, I would have totally been in a cult.
Well, it makes sense. It was the time of drugs. It was the time of free love. So having a cult base around either of those things, it just made sense.
Yeah, you would just be able to ride that right to whatever you wanted.
You know, like, I want to join a god and trapped in a human body and live in the hills with him. I mean, that made sense in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And you could really easily be with the LCD and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could get all the... Oh, yeah, you could get LCD.
I fucking love
LCD sound system?
crystal displays. It's incredible.
Yeah. Over 70 times sharper.
In the mid-70s, the Source family's life turned less idyllic.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they were forced to live in a smaller house and were frequently hassled by LA officials. After talking of an oncoming Armageddon...
Oh.
Father Yod decided that it was time to move west to Hawaii.
Oh, they were the cult in Hawaii?
Yeah, it's this cult.
Oh.
Yeah, but when they got there, things weren't great there either. Oh. Because the locals basically thought of them as useless West Coast hippies with basically no one would give them any work. The end of the psychedelic social experiment was nigh. Unlike Jim Jones, however, Father Yod didn't lead people to death. Instead, he seemingly brought his own death in a semi-mystical fashion by hang gliding.
That's such a random fucking death. Hand gliding? Like, you expect a cult leader to either poison himself or go down in a hail of gunfire or something, but hang gliding?
On August 25th, 1975, despite having no previous hang gliding experience...
Oh, fuck.
That's no good.
This guy's a ding-dong. Father Yod decided that he should hang glide, and he used a hang glider to leap off a 1,300-foot, 400-meter cliff on the eastern shore of Oahu.
Okay, maybe he did buy his own bullshit, because, like...
Maybe he did.
Because, like, why else would he do that except for, like, I'm a fucking god? Why not?
Yeah, like, and I am a golden god.
Did he survive?
Just wait.
I'm talking about LSD. That'd be another reason, I suppose.
I would hate to hang glide on LSD. I mean, I've never done LSD. But I mean, like, the closest hallucinogenic is shrooms, which I've done a few times, and I would hate to hang glide under that influence.
No, I'm paranoid enough normally. I'm scared to do... I'm scared to do LSD on the couch.
No shit.
You have ferrets here, though, running around. Those things turn into space aliens when you're that high.
Oh, they're too cute, though. I love them.
Well, they're benevolent space aliens.
I could never fear them. They're clumsy.
Anyway, he crash landed on the beach, suffering no external injuries, but was unable to move and died 9 hours later.
Jesus. How the fuck does that mean, no external injuries?
That is what I found.
I'm guessing he's...
They were internal injuries then.
Yeah. That's a lot of internal injuries to have no external injuries.
Yeah. Or it could be internal bleeding, or he could be like a walking spinal. Like maybe he got a spinal injury.
He was also pretty old at that point.
Anything non-external, I'm assuming.
I'm not a doctorologist, but I think that's bullshit.
Sounds made up to me.
So the Source family refers to this day as Black Monday. After 3 hours of vigil, Yod was cremated, and his ashes were put to rest at Lanikai Beach in Hawaii.
Have you ever tried to throw ashes off the side of a boat?
No.
They stick to the sides of the fucking boat.
That's gross.
And then you make it into harbor, and there's just dead ashes all up the side of your boat. You can't even scrape that shit off.
And it all floats on top, too, right?
It all floats. It's terrible. It's terrible. And if you've ever scattered it on land, the wind will take, like, the light bits and sweep them away, and they get stuck on your shit, and then there's just like a pile of crushed bones on the ground in front of you. It's not romantic like it looks in the movies. Don't cremate, just fucking bury, guys.
No,
Let's get over it.
I'm cremating myself. We have
I'm pro cremation as well because of sustainability as well.
I already own 2 plots at the cemetery.
Me too.
I'm ready to go.
Me and Mr. Sage Murray have already bought 2.
Think about how many cremated people you could put in 2 plots.
2 legally in Saskatchewan.
I want to be
but sustainably
and then fed to a squirrel.
Too many.
I'd
so
like
I can
to
become part of a squirrel.
Yeah, I'd like to be turned into like a tree or something.
Yeah.
Or turn me into a motherfucking diamond.
We can't do that yet in this province.
Why not?
Daniel
you can actually ship it off though to Japan and they'll do it for you.
Yeah. I don't trust them.
Daniel can remarry. I have no problem with that, but I want to be stuffed and put in the corner.
Ew.
I would love to be taxidermed.
Yeah.
You know, no, actually, like my
I want to be
only
useful.
wish-
I want to be taxidermed with a handout so I can like have like I don't know, alcohol or something.
I want my organs donated, but like more than anything, I want my penis donated to a trans man who wants it, so I can still fuck after I'm dead.
I want to be made into the first realistic. Oh shit! I forgot what it's called, so now I can finish the joke. The little clown thing that goes. Zzz. Operation board. Yeah. I'll be the first.
I'd donate my vagina and all my bits to a trans woman who wants to have a vagina and all those
That's
bits.
super fucking hot. Like, can you imagine still?
I'm dead and I'm still getting laid.
Anyway, back to my episode, which I'm never doing second again.
Yeah.
In 2006, 2 Source family members, Isis Aquarian and Electricity Aquarian, wrote the history of the religious group. A revised version of the group entitled The Source, The Untold Story of Father Yod, YaHoWha 13, and the Source Family was released in 2007 by Process Media and included a CD with a bunch of performances and stuff. It was set blah, blah, blah. Basically, they had a comic book and like meditation tapes. Like, this was a really innocuous kind of group.
Yeah, if you want to see all the random bullshit they were up to, just make sure to follow our social media accounts. I'm going to be posting pictures all week.
Yeah. Ood is really awesome about that. So, yeah, basically, this is not my usual bloody, gross, disgusting episode, but I really think this group is a fascinating peek into the new agey weirdness that was like the late 60s and 70s. So... If you want to hear more stuff like this from me, please let me know. If not, I'll go back to talking about gross people that kill people. And let me know.
You know, from all the 80s slasher flicks I watched, it seems like these guys could be the source for a lot of those out there cults.
The Source.
Yeah. So when did they open up like a line of electronic stores?
I think that might be only in Canada. That might only be Canadians that find that joke maybe funny.
Do they have
maybe.
Circuit City in the States?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, Canadians, you get that one. So,
yeah.
Sorry, anybody
Sorry,
else.
everyone else. All right, so yeah, for Occultae Veritatis, I am Sage Murray.
I know, Hippies in the Woods. I like that.
Hippies in the Woods.
Yeah, I've been Ood Gallifrey.
I continue to be yours truly, Leon Filger.
And joining us in the studio today, my most favorite cousin,
Jamsky.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you want to stick around for one more episode?
We have one more. So
I'm okay. Thanks, so.
Okay. And good.
Bye. Love
Cheers.
you.
Alrighty, that was the Source Family Cult. Now to play us out comes from the band Ashes with their song Repent or Die. And make sure to join me after the palate cleanser for the after show. We have a buttload of patrons to announce, and we have a very touching email to read. In the meantime, enjoy the song. That song, of course, came to us from the Fiercely Altered Perspective podcast. It's one of their friends that sent the song in, so thank you to Ember and her co-host for hooking us up with that awesome tune. Now, let's welcome some new occultists into the ranks of our Patreon family. These patrons are all at the occultist level of the donation, which is $5 a month. These guys are getting access to bonus episodes on the Patreon and ability to vote on future upcoming episodes. If you guys didn't know already, every single episode is voted on and selected by patrons. They are our producers. They also have some extra things like a personal Patreon chat room and some other random goodies. So let's start naming them. Welcome, new occultist Bonnie Lee.
beer.
New occultist Cambo Ford.
Beer.
New occultists. This is a joint donation from Jessa Nicholson Goetz and Nick Gainsner.
Beer.
Welcome new occultist Roseanne Sinclair Soltz.
Beer.
And new occultist Karen Wickerman.
Beer.
New occultist that calls himself a concerned citizen. And I recognize that name from the Swindled podcast. If you guys want an analysis of white-collar crime and crimes of money and industry, you should check that podcast out.
Beer.
Also new patron, Nikki T.
Beer.
And last but certainly not least, our brand new patron, Jessie Gray. Now, she's a bit more of an edgelord than the rest of us, just like all the hosts on this podcast. So instead of donating the regular $5, she donated $6.66. So instead of the regular, have a beer, I'm going to give her a Hail Satan.
Hail Satan!
Alrighty, and Jesse sent in an honestly touching email. It meant a lot to all the hosts to hear this email, because it's nice to know that all our work is meaning something to somebody somewhere. And stuff like that makes a lot of the work and a lot of the editing, a lot of the research, a lot of the money spent really worth it. The message begins. The subject line reads, "Thank you for an outlet." And the message begins, "Thank you for your show, your Facebook group, your dedication, and for the fact that you prove every week that you can be blunt, gross, raunchy, sexual, and ignorant dipshits without being hateful. You three out so much care in not being hurtful, discriminatory, and you always try to give the benefit of the doubt even to those who have done horrible things in their lives. As disturbing topics can be, I find an odd comfort in the weekly hour I spend with the familiar darkness in my ears." Okay, so you all put yourselves out there every week, so I'll share a bit about myself. I was raised in an ultra-conservative, ultra-religious part of the U.S. I was raised in the typical dysfunctional divorced household, full of unspoken mental illness. I was, quote-unquote, normal. I went to church, I joined the military, I, quote-unquote, served my country, and after 3 years of physical and sexual abuse by the U.S., I finally cracked. I was medically retired. Hooray, I get paid for pain for the rest of my life. At least now I can finally admit I am mentally ill. Years have passed, I've moved to the other side of the world, and I'm living in an incredible country with the love of my life and healthcare I can actually access. My boyfriend and I are both bisexual. I live with borderline personality disorder, and he has bipolar disorder with paranoia and stress-induced hallucinations. So hearing you three speak so openly about your sexuality and mental health is like listening to someone speak the deepest corners of my own brain. It helps me understand my partner while feeding my dark curiosities. Y'all make this feel all normal. You help remove the guilt and shame of the fact that I'm different but still a decent human being. And surprise, I'm a teacher. I share all this with you because I feel like I can. I feel like y'all get me. Y'all won't judge. Hopefully my story helps you feel motivated to keep going. Keep it up. Never stop questioning the world, learning about the mind, and digging into the dark shit. Y'all make me laugh, cry, question, cringe, and I love it all. If you think any part of my story could help others, feel free to share. It's my life's work to make sure mental health is talked about and normalized across all demographics. Well, this has gotten awkward and a little too deep, as I felt it would. I'm sure there's a million grammatical errors, and I'm not going to reread it or I'll chicken out of sending it, so I hope that made some sense. Cheers, Jessie Gray. Well, Jesse, I read that email to the co-host and I sent it in chat, and we all felt the same thing. We all felt various types of we're not worthy, and we also felt various types of, I guess, a new responsibility on our shoulders. You know, when the three of us began this podcast and we sat down and decided like what we wanted the tone to be and what we wanted the podcast to be like, we had a choice. Did we want to remain just neutral voices in the room that tell stories, or did we want to be the people that open ourselves up and try and be raw and honest about the way we come across this podcast? And we decided that if we tried to be just neutral voices in the room, it just wouldn't feel right. We are all very honest, outspoken, progressive people, and damn it, if we're going to do this project, we're going to do it right. And the fact is that these cases and the people we look at and the stories we look at and the mysteries we look at represent the very corners and limits of human experience. And there's so much nuance and there's so many aspects that you have to get right and you have to understand in order to get in the head of these people who commit these crimes and the victims that they victimized. You know, I think honesty is a big part of this project. And it just wouldn't feel right if we had some veil before us that we had to filter our words through. So, although we probably will disappoint some of you in the future, you know, we're three dumb white people that sit in a room and talk bullshit, often while under the influence of various substances. We will make mistakes in the future and we will say ignorant things, but if we can at all help it, we will try and remain, you know, a voice for the voiceless. We will try and tell the real story, and we'll try to learn lessons and try to make an effort to teach with every story we bring about. That's what we're going to try and do. And honestly, emails like Jesse's, it's like an adrenaline shot straight to the heart. It makes us feel that this podcast is starting to become something a bit bigger than ourselves. And you know what? If we can break stigma, and if we can teach people what the real world is like instead of the false things they've learned before it, then it's going to be completely worth it. Anyways, that's enough catawumping for me. That's enough of me just blabbing into a microphone at, 6 o'clock on Sunday morning. So I'm going to leave you guys go. So, thank you, Jesse, for writing in. Thank you to all the patrons who decided to contribute. You know, this thing is growing, and our dream of doing this for a living and busting bullshit and telling stories about dark things for a living is becoming more and more true with every donation. So if you want to contribute and become a member of the Occultist family, get some free content, get access to a secret chat room, get some money off of merchandise, and some other goodies, check out our Patreon at www.patreon.com/ovpod. Until then, thank you for tuning in, thank you for letting us invade your ear holes this week, and you know what? You did good work this week. You worked hard. You deserve a break. Have a drink, have a nap. Have a good time. Until next Sunday, I've been Ood Gallifrey with the After Show. I love you all.